Benning lost his mom at 14. When Robin was born, he finally had someone to love like she loved him. It made me think that some dreams return as children.
Well, first off, Your Honor, my mother passed away when I was 14 years old. She was my best friend. We spent every waking moment together. After she died, it, left me hurt. I always wanted a daughter, and I promised I was gonna take care of her and treat her like my mother took care of me.
Tell me about that relationship.
So close. She's goofy. She loves daddy. She's a daddy's baby.
While his girlfriend gave birth, Benning got a message from a man saying the baby was his. Benning stayed quiet and signed anyway. Silence can sometimes be louder than pain.
It actually happened during labor, Your Honor. I was in the hospital sitting across from Kayla. She was pushing this baby out. And I received a text from a guy telling me to leave the hospital because that's his baby and he needs to be there.
What?
I am in labor, like literally in the hospital. And I received a text telling me that the child that I'm waiting to come isn't mine.
She told Benning one man wasn't the father, but he knew there were others. I kept thinking how fast doubt grows when the truth is full of holes.
So, Mr. Benning, you still build the relationship, but you still have a doubt?
Yes, quite a few. First off, the DNA test doesn't mean anything considering the fact that she's cheated on me with more than one person.
Oh.
There could be other guys out there, that's just one,
During every fight, she said Robin wasn't his. Her words hit like hidden punches. It felt cruel, even just hearing it from someone else.
Anytime that something is wrong, I'm also reminded, oh, you're not her father. But if
You
need something, I'm the father.
You say stuff to hurt my feelings. Why can't
Have I
I do
ever
it
told
to
you that you're not the parent of your kid?
You can't. I pushed them out.
So
Okay.
you're just gonna stab me in the back and tell me that I'm not the
This is
father
why
of
we're
the
here today.
kid that I take care of?
This is why we're here today to prove it.
Let's prove it.
Benning thought Robin looked like his mom, but hearing she might not be his broke something inside him. It felt like grief came back wearing a new face.
That little girl right there is my mother come back to be with me.
And
When
she
you
looks
tell me
just
that,
like your
when you tell
mother.
me
She's
she's
her
not
twin.
mine, it feels like you're taking my mother away from me again.
Look at them. Look, they're twins.
She's beautiful. They do look a lot alike.
People texted him saying Robin wasn't his. The calls and whispers kept coming. I can't imagine being a dad while drowning in that much doubt.
Change her diaper and look at her and play with her, and she's calling me daddy, and there's something in the back of my head saying she might not be. There's a text message on my phone saying she's not yours. There's people calling me on my phone saying I'm her dad. It's constant, and
Well, this is why we're here to.
after a certain time, you can't just ignore it anymore. It keeps happening. It's hard to ignore. Very hard.
Bodine swore he was the father, but lies made her words empty. Trust can break before love even has a chance. I've learned that truth needs more than words.
I don't trust the thing that really comes out of his mouth. I really don't. And to be honest with you, after all this has happened, depending on the doubts with Robin, I wouldn't know about my son as well.
I think it's important that we get this family some clarity.
The judge said he wasn't the real dad, but Benning stayed anyway. That kind of love doesn't need DNA to be real.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
He got another message, this time about Jermaine Jr. Bodine said the baby might not be his just to hurt him. Some words cut deeper than facts ever could.
There was a text to you, Mr. Benning, that says, I'm filing papers for a DNA test on Jermaine. That'll cause paternity doubt
Indeed.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's your honor, sure does. Every day.
Did you send it for good reason, or were you just being vindictive and mean?
Vindictive and mean, trying to hurt your feelings.
Benning gave the baby his name and raised him. He did it all, feeding, hugging, playing. That's what real fatherhood looks like. No strings attached.
Jermaine Jr.'s birth,
Yes, I was in the hospital. while
did
he
you
was
sign
born.
that birth
I
certificate too?
did sign his birth certificate. He has
And
my
that's
first name.
been
and
submitted
he's
to the
junior.
court. Jermaine Truth Benning Jr. Your concern is that the truth is
That he's
you
not.
are not his biological father.
Yes, your honor.
The second test came. Like before, Benning.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
Mr. Dark said Ms. Bailey lied and tried to trap him. He claimed they were together only once, long ago. I felt nervous just hearing the way he spoke.
Mr. Dark, you say the defendant is a promiscuous liar who broke your heart 4 years ago, stepping out on your then relationship. You admit to having a one-night stand with her 2 years ago, but are furious. Ms. Bailey is now claiming you fathered her 11-month-old son, which you say is impossible.
Bailey's friend told him she cheated while he was gone. He still tried to fix things, but it was too late. It made me wonder why people stay when broken.
But when I come back, she was doing her best friend's hair at the house. So I came in. When I left out of the door to go to the store, her best friend came running out of the door to like, hey, Terrence, wait up for a second. I'm gonna go to the store with you. We went on to the store. Well, while we was going to the store, her friend started to tell me a story. She was like, well, I just want to tell you something. She was like, well, the whole time that you was gone, she was cheating on you.
Her best friend told you
This
that?
is what her best friend told me.
The baby was born in November, but they slept together in March. The timeline didn't make sense. I couldn't stop thinking someone was definitely lying.
You kept having sex until
2016.
It was like early March.
you have sex and you didn't use protection.
No.
ma'am.
When was Jameer born?
November 13th.
If Jameer's birth date is November 13, 2016, then that means the conception window would be February 17th, February 24th, 2016.
Right.
Bailey pressured him to sign the birth paper. He did it so the baby had his name. That made me think how guilt can push us to act.
And the reason why I signed the birth certificate, to answer your question, is because you told me at the hospital that if I didn't sign it right then I wouldn't have
I did
another
not.
opportunity to sign it. That's what you told me right there at the hospital.
Forced you to sign it. You
If
signed
I
it on your
didn't
own.
sign it, what was gonna happen? He won't have your last name, you won't get to sign it. Did you not say that? You know you said
I did
that.
not tell you that. No, I did not. Okay, if you don't sign, okay, that's on you.
Dark's girlfriend said her baby was made the same week next year. Her story matched the judge's timeline. My brain was spinning trying to keep up.
What would you like to tell the court?
Well, first, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like the baby looks like him. Just my personal opinion.
Feel like there is a physical resemblance?
No. Well, my due date is November 19th. My conception date is February 24th.
Oh,
Dark helped raise the baby, even while unsure. He gave him care, love, and time. That showed me what true responsibility looks like in the middle of doubt.
That's why you don't have your first child, because you don't do for her.
I've been a part of his life. I've gotten him. I've taken him with me. I've kept him. I took him to Alabama with me when I went to my granny's funeral last month. And my whole family
because
said
of what?
that's not your child.
so when your whole family said
whole
that's
family.
not your child.
My mama said, boy, if you don't get that baby out of here.
The judge said Dark is the legal dad since he signed. That's final, no matter the truth. I'd panic too if I made that choice too soon.
Even if he has not bought him something, he will be buying him things and paying child support because you put your name on that birth certificate, and that makes you the legal father. You do understand that, right? By signing that birth certificate, you have said to your state, I am acknowledging that I'm the father of this child, which means you're responsible to take care of the child.
The DNA test showed Dark, wow, this will hit harder than anything else in the episode.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Dark, you are the father.
Ms. Lopez entered the courtroom like a storm. She said Mr. Carbajal faked a DNA test to avoid being a dad. I felt the shock hit me hard.
Ms. Lopez, you are here today because you claim the defendant, Mr. Carbajal, allegedly perpetuated a DNA testing scam to try to deny paternity of your kids. You say you are tired of struggling daily to take care of your children alone, and you need to prove he's their biological father today.
They met online and things moved too fast. He said they were intimate without protection the first night. She denied it, but admitted it happened soon. How does it go so far?
Well, I met her through a social network. She told me, hey, come see me, for the weekend or just one night. So I went to go see her. And that day that I went to go see her, we basically had sex that first night.
When she said she was pregnant, he didn't smile. He stepped back. He didn't want a baby with someone he didn't love. That made my stomach twist in knots.
Your Honor, after I found out I was pregnant, he did not have anything to say. We talked later, and he was still in shock, telling me that he didn't want to have a baby with someone he did not love.
So at that time, you told him you're pregnant. He didn't seem to be that enthused.
No, he was not.
He loved the girl so much, he got her name tattooed. But one photo made him question everything. My chest got tight just hearing the story.
He says he's the father. He's even has her name tattooed on his arm. He was there.
Even though you doubted?
Because when she was first born, I was attached to her. I was really attached to her.
Okay, so you were attached to her.
Yeah.
So then why doubt? What made you doubt?
The picture.
His sister saw a photo of another man on Lopez's phone. She said the man looked like the child. One picture sent everyone into chaos and doubt.
She showed my sister Miriam.
He was a friend
picture
of mine.
a guy, and my sister took picture of her phone.
He was a
because
friend of mine,
that guy
Your Honor.
looked exactly like.
No.
So
Rihanna.
you were showing pictures in your phone
She was
of
showing
a
my
guy
sister.
to your sister.
Yes.
Your Honor,
And
he
she
was a
came
friend.
across a picture that she felt looked just like
Yes, Your Honor. Aliana.
Aliana.
Carbajal said he couldn't sign the baby's papers. Lopez and her mom claimed he wasn't there. The yelling made it hard to know who to trust.
Well, when he was first born, like, she didn't let me sign his birth certificate. I didn't even sign his birth certificate. Why wouldn't she let me? She's saying I'm the father. Why couldn't I sign the birth certificate?
Because you weren't there from the beginning.
I was there.
I was there when they both were.
Hold on, let's get some order.
He said the baby had dark skin and a cleft lip, which didn't run in his family. Lopez said the child looked like her ex's dad. I felt the tension rise.
I'm light-skinned, Your Honor.
He looks just like
Your
his grandpa.
dad is dark.
His
That
dad
doesn't
is
mean
dark.
anything. That doesn't mean
My
anything.
little boy, my little grandson looks just like your dad because
Yes,
there
he
are
does.
He
pictures.
doesn't. No,
There's
he doesn't.
pictures
Yes.
that we
No.
looked side by side.
Yes,
he looks
he
like
did.
your dad. He's
My
from you
my
guys.
family does not have
Your
a
Honor.
history of cleft lip.
Doesn't
you
matter.
Whether it's my mom or my dad's side.
Listen.
Lopez sent a photo of another man holding the baby. She wanted to make Carbajal jealous. I had to ask, who would do that on purpose?
She also sent me a picture of a man holding my baby.
Wait, you sent him a picture?
I sent him a picture to
of
show
Why
him.
would
someone
you
else
send a-
holding a child that you said was his?
I sent it because to show him that there would be another man,
Why would it-
possibly,
why would it be another man?
possibly, and take care of his responsibilities. I did not meet up with my ex until a month before I had my daughter.
Carbajal used a store-bought DNA kit without ID or witness. Lopez didn't know, and names were spelled wrong. I was stunned. How can anyone trust that test?
He did a paternity test that he bought from the store. I did not know about it until he gave me the results that came back.
My mom bought it off the counter. They came with swabbing things, you know?
Okay, so it came with all of the utensils,
Yes,
everything
and
you
then
needed.
paperwork, and then we did the swabbing. I swabbed my lips, I swabbed the kids' lips, and then we basically did the paperwork and we sent them in.
Judge Lake read the results. Carbajal wasn't Aliana's dad. The room fell quiet. My heart dropped with his.
2-year-old Aliana Lopez Carbajal. Mr. Carbajal, you are not her father.
After many denials, Lopez admitted she had another partner. The courtroom exploded with anger from Carbajal's side. I was floored. How do you lie like that?
So I'll ask you again. Were you sleeping with anyone else besides Mr. Carbajal at the time?
One, Your Honor.
Which is the one in the picture.
It's not the one in the
Obviously.
picture,
Pretty sure
okay?
it is.
No, it's not, Christina.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
you stood in this courtroom and lied.
Then it got worse.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not.
Thank you.
Noah's
Thank
father.
you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Lopez said both kids had different fathers and claimed to know who. The judge called out her lies and warned her. I watched her world fall apart.
Now, you two people's mother. Do you know who their fathers are?
Yes, I do.
Is it the same person or two different fathers?
Two, but I know who they are.
I don't even know if you're telling the truth right now.
No.
Because only you know the truth. And I will leave you with this cautionary tale.
This young woman says the baby's father is either an absent guy or her mom's boyfriend. The courtroom froze like a wave hit. I sat there, stunned and speechless.
Ms. Holthouse, you are here to prove paternity of your 3-month-old son, Zayden. Shockingly, you confess it's either a man you shared a sexual relationship with who wants nothing to do with your child, or the defendant who happens to be your mother's boyfriend.
It all began with a strange text sent by mistake. Days later, she wore tight clothes and they flirted nonstop. I still don't get how it got bad so fast.
It started out as a text message, Your Honor. I received, it wasn't supposed to come to me, and a word was misspelled. It was a word. A few days later, tight clothing, little skirt, breast out. Next thing you know, one thing led to another. We started flirting with each other back and forth. Things just escalated from there.
Did you ever think in your mind this is inappropriate?
She snuck out of Grandma's house and met him at the park. They didn't just talk, they were intimate outside. I couldn't believe how casual she made it sound.
I snuck out of my grandma's house that night and we went to a park.
And what happened at the park?
We had sexual relations.
So you got a phone call while you're at your grandmother's house?
Yes, Your Honor.
For 6 months, they hid the secret from everyone. People only found out after both got arrested. I was sweating just thinking about their double life.
So how long did this sexual relationship last?
It was about 6 months.
Did your mother have any idea this was going on?
She didn't have any idea until Mr. Chenault and her got locked up and he got out while he was in jail. She had kind of manipulated both of us, saying that I told her about what we did and I never said anything, and she said that he told her about what we did and he never said anything.
One day, her mom walked in and caught them. No excuses, just pants down and chaos. My jaw dropped hearing how that scene went down.
She caught me standing in front of her, my pants unzipped. She was really furious and upset, and we basically got into huge arguments and fights about things that were going on.
And so when you found out you were pregnant, Ms. Holthouse, did your mother know anything about this?
No, Your Honor.
Her mom had a baby with him just months earlier. That means their kids could be half siblings. I paused the video. I needed to breathe.
As my mom was pregnant with my sister, my sister is Mr. Chenault's daughter.
How old is her daughter?
She's about to turn 11 months.
How old is your child?
He is 3 months.
3 months.
They still live together but can't talk or share rooms. Her mom listens in, even lowers the TV. I can't imagine living under those rules.
Oh, we actually all stay together.
You all stay together?
Yes, ma'am.
You all live together?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, there are rules laid down for me and Miss Holthouse, her daughter. We're not allowed to be in the same room together. We're not allowed to talk or text each other. We're not supposed to really even be around each other. And if we are in the same room together, she turns down the TV so she can hear the conversations that we're having.
They say they stopped seeing each other in September, but their body language says otherwise. Even the judge felt the lies in the air.
The last time we were intimate, Your Honor, was about September.
Haven't had any more contact?
No, Your Honor.
I've been a lawyer for a lot of years. You all's body language is off.
DNA test says my heart raced like I was in that room.
It has been determined by this court. You are not.
Ms. Foster shares how motherhood at 17 changed her forever. She's raising her son alone, while Mr. Durden avoids responsibility. I felt her pain. I was left speechless too.
Ms. Foster, you say getting pregnant at the age of 17 pushed you into adulthood sooner than you expected. You claim Mr. Durden is denying your 15-month-old son, Ian Durden Jr. You are asking the court to order a paternity test so you can prove he is the father because you're struggling financially to make it on your own.
Mr. Durden says he didn't help because he has doubts. He only signed the papers because he felt forced. Honestly, I couldn't believe what I just heard.
Because I haven't helped because I don't want to get too attached to a baby that's not mine.
He has your name.
Yeah, Your Honor, I agree with that. And the reason because he has my name is because I was kind of like pushed to sign the birth certificate.
We used to talk all the time about, if we have children, like I want my son to have my name.
I want to have my son to have my name.
Foster spends over $2,000 a month just to survive. She works long hours and sees her baby less. My heart broke hearing how tired she sounded.
You say your expenses, just for you, $750. That's food, getting back and forth to work, etc. For the baby, you're spending about $1,535, $2,285, which leaves you in the negative every month, $637. So you're going under and you're going under fast.
She says they had unprotected intimacy one emotional night. She believes that's when her son was conceived. He says he doesn't even remember it.
If it's not the case, we did use condoms sometimes. Not all the time, not 100% of the time. After that, he wanted to talk. He called me to a restaurant. We sat down and we talked for him. Read some text messages that were between me and a guy that
saw a picture.
It was, we were on a break. Me and Ian were not together. He was someone who was comforting me at the time. It was not anything. We never had or anything like that.
Durden signed the papers to avoid embarrassing her. He still doubted the baby, but wanted to be a man. I'm stunned. I don't know what I'd do either.
Mr. Durden, you said you signed the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
The child's named after you. Why did you sign the birth certificate?
And it was a problem with the child being named after me. She didn't want the child to be named after me. It took her mother and I think one of her friends to tell her it's the right thing to do if the baby's his. Hospital room. I didn't really want to embarrass her in front of her mom and her sisters and stuff.
His sister says Foster was close to another guy. That guy even went to the baby's ultrasound. I gasped. How do you even respond to that?
Miss Foster and the baby, he stated that she's pregnant. I didn't even know they was having intercourse because they so young. They kids. She cheated on him with her best friend. Her best friend looked exactly like my brother.
It was the boy she took a selfie with who took her to the doctor and she didn't let me know nothing about.
That's why I have my doubts too and she cheated on him around the time she conceived the baby. So it's a possibility that he could be the father also.
The test proves Durden is...
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Durden, you are the father.
Jason entered with hope, but fear cracked his voice. Megan told him he might not be the dad. I felt punched in the stomach, too.
Mr. Deggs, you are here today hoping you are the biologic father of the defendant's 3-year-old son, Jason. You have petitioned the court for a paternity test because you claim your ex, Ms. Guerin, first led you to believe that you were Jason's dad, but when the baby was 6 months old, she confessed that you may not be the biological father.
Jason's best friend shared terrible news. His friend and his brother had both been with Megan. I froze just imagining hearing something like that.
And my best friend at the time pulled me aside and told me him and my brother had both slept with Meg.
What? He
They both
cheated in the
slept.
very beginning of our relationship. It was even
No.
before we were a month together.
Ms. Guerin,
when we first...
I want to know, is it true?
Yes, it is true. I do admit that I did do those things. I did cheat on him with his best friend and his brother.
Jason worked hard to make Megan happy. She says another man made her feel wanted. I don't even know who to feel bad for now.
He was never home.
Worked full time to make
Okay,
sure that
and
her
then
nails
after
and
he
her
would
hair
come,
get
after
done
he would get off
to make
work,
sure
he
that she
never
was
came
happier.
home,
Just wanted to
and
make-
he left me in the apartment all the time with a roommate
I
that
was
he
working.
knew was
Full time.
attracted to me and wanted to be with me. We were drinking, and he was showing interest in me, made me feel pretty, and was giving me everything at the time that Jason was not.
Megan also cheated with Jason's brother. She felt ignored, but Jason looked crushed. Hearing that once would destroy me too.
But you slept with my brother too.
Yes.
You slept with my best friend and my
Oh.
brother. So if okay, twice the
Ms.
pain.
Guerin, how did you end up with his brother too?
His brother, I was really young at the time, and
You keep talking about how young you were. If you were so young, you shouldn't have been sleeping with everybody.
Okay.
Megan cheated again while pregnant. Jason still held her hand and cut the cord. I wanted to scream. He didn't deserve this.
When I found out I was pregnant, we had a lot of problems at that time. We had already cheated on each other. And then I met somebody else that was taking care of me, and I ended up sleeping with him while I was with Jason.
When you give birth
Yes.
to the child, he was there.
Yes, he was there.
I cut cord. I've been there since day one, taking care of this baby and this woman. Day one, Your Honor, I was there.
Jason thought he was the dad for 6 months. During a fight, Megan told the truth. My chest hurt like it was my family.
During the entire pregnancy and for 6 months after that, you allowed him to believe that he was the father of this child, knowing in your mind that maybe he wasn't.
I think we were in an argument, and out of nowhere she goes at me. You're probably not even Jason, the daddy of Jason anyway.
Her new boyfriend steps in, acting like a dad. He's not the father, but takes care of Jason. That part made me clench my jaw hard.
I do things that a father is supposed to do. I never try and take the place of his biological father because I'm not his biological father.
And what is it that you do for the child?
I take care of him. When Megan's working, if I have the day off, then of course I'm taking care of him. If he needs to go to an appointment or something, make sure he gets there. It's fun to be around. Of course, he's 3-year-old. He tests your patience sometimes, but
The DNA test says Jason's.
When it comes to baby Jason Day, Mr. Day, you are not the father.
The judge calls Megan cold and cruel. She let Jason believe the baby was his. I wanted to stand and clap too.
That you would perpetrate this lie on this man during your entire pregnancy up through a delivery room. That wasn't his child. I could tell by the look on your face today. He was more nervous than you were. I'm gonna tell you what I think as a woman. Now, you sitting up there and you got a cute face, but you got ugly ways.
I pulled up in the yard, family house. The door was cracked, it was open. I walk in, the bed is sitting right there, right in front of the door. Small apartment. Smack it, they getting it. Next thing I know, he hear the door open. He turned around and looked to see me. All I did was look and shook my head and walked out.
You walked in and she was in bed with your uncle.
Yes, ma'am.
She's been wanting it a lot. A couple of times she's complained to me that he has not been wanting it.
Why would you put me on child support if I'm supporting my child already?
I've
If
been
you
doing
don't
it
want me
since day
part
one,
of
Tony, so
Trinity's
don't
life,
try
then
that.
Just my grandmother.
Not
to
for the
see
past 3
what
years.
I learned from a
You
family
have been
member.
coming around
Let's
lately
get
because-
to why? Because she keeps moving and people get tired of reaching out. Here.
Things go crazy real fast. Dude calls her a cheater and says she tricked him with a baby. He says she ran from a DNA test for 3 years. She says she just wants him back and to prove he's the daddy.
Mr. Carr, you state that Miss Villa is a notorious cheater who tried to pin her daughter Trinity on you. You claim there is no way you are the father and had to open today's case because she's been running from you and a DNA test for 3 years.
He drops the nickname Heartbreaker like it's her superhero name, but for breakups. Says she's a big-time liar and cheater. He still wanted to fix her. Yeah, good luck with that.
Her nickname is Heartbreaker.
What does that
From the
have anything to
beginning
do with
of the
Trinity?
relationships that we had together, she was a liar, a cheater, no good for nothing, just to be honest.
But you still stayed with me.
That's what I was just about to say.
Actually, Your
Yes,
Honor,
you did. You
she
continued
stayed
to have
with
sex
me.
with me and everything else, and you allowed me back.
They met on Facebook and boom, baby time. One night stand turned full-blown relationship. He says she wouldn't leave him alone after that.
He hit me up on Facebook, and it went from a one night stand to us having a kid.
Wow. And it turned into a relationship
Yes,
from just meeting on Facebook.
Yes, Your Honor.
What you were just
No,
like,
no, Your Honor.
we want to do this?
The problem was I couldn't get rid of her, Your Honor.
She says she cheated but told him after. Like that makes it better. He says it wasn't one guy, it was 8. This turned into a math test real quick.
Was it always the same person?
Basically, yeah.
No, Your Honor. She
Yes,
cheated
it was.
8 different times with 8 different people.
8 different times with
Yes,
8
ma'am.
different people.
You're a liar.
Wait a minute.
There was times I did cheat on him, and there was times we were broken up.
You're
That's true.
sitting
Just
here
like he
admitting
kicked
that
me
you're
out
cheating now.
to
So
sleep with another
with that
girl in a
being
place we
said,
share together. So you need to get the story straight and tell your
my whole
part
point
too.
is,
He's doing calendar math like a detective. She says baby was made on Valentine's Day. He says, nah, you were already pregnant.
the times of conception was she slept with a man on the 31st of January.
Tony,
Me and
she
her
was-
slept together on February the 14th. 3 days later, the 17th, she tells me that she's pregnant. I'm like, how are you pregnant?
Tony, you're a liar.
How in the world do you know that you're pregnant?
She says they made the baby in the back of a car while his friend drove. Like, what? He's not buying it.
Had sex with Mr. Carr where?
In one of his friend's car when he picked us up. He picked us up and we did it right there with him driving.
That was on the 14th. That was
Tony,
on the 14th.
I didn't tell you I was pregnant until a couple of weeks later.
And that's the day you think Trinity was conceived?
Yep.
With Mr. Carr?
Yep.
He's crying because he's been there for the kid, even without knowing if she's his. He's super sad, but also super loving. Says he did it all, even while hurting.
Do you have a relationship with her?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm with her every day of the week, just about. I play my role as a father. No matter what it is, no
Adorable.
matter how much pain, I still treat her like she's my own child.
And that hurts you. I can see how emotional that makes.
Because I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve to go through what I went through.
But you kept taking me back.
He says the baby is his queen, and her smile makes everything okay. He's still unsure, but full of love. Says it's both sweet and super painful.
Your Honor, because to me, she is my queen. I look at her and she looks back at me and she smiles back at me. That said, I'm doing something right. At least she's happy. Even if my happiness never comes, at least she's happy. And that's all that matters.
You look at her and you see her smile. If we're being very honest, you also look and say, I wonder if she's mine.
He pulls out a map like she's on a road trip from the truth. Lists a whole bunch of cities she moved to. She says it was for him, not to run.
I was in Alabama. She was in Tampa, Florida. I tried to hook the cases together. As soon as she received the letter, she moves from Tampa, Florida to Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
You were told I was moving.
From Muscle Shoals, Alabama, she moves to Decatur, Alabama. That's when we stayed together for the little bit that we did. From Decatur, Alabama, she moves from Decatur to Chicago, Illinois.
Her bestie shows up and drops a truth bomb. Yeah, she had a one-night stand too. Villa says it was revenge. Also, no protection.
She's been wanting it a lot. A couple of times she's complained to me that he has not been wanting it.
My child support. Why would you put me on child support if I'm supporting my child already?
I've
If
been
you
doing
don't
it
want me
since day
part
one,
of
Tony, so
Trinity's
don't
life
try
and
that.
just my grandmother.
Not
to
for the
see
past 3
what I
years.
learned from a
You
family
have been
member.
coming around lately because
Why? Because she keeps moving and people get tired of reaching out. Here, here, here.
And bam,
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Carr, you are the father.
this show starts like a messy love story gone wild. Webb thinks he's the dad, but the woman says it's her husband. Oh yeah, and she left him while he was in a coma.
Mr. Webb, you have been waiting 2 years for this day. You claim the defendant, Mrs. Forrest, left you for dead only to find out once you got out of a coma that she was pregnant and that the baby could be yours or her husband.
Amanda left her husband to date Webb while her man was in trouble. No protection, no thinking, just drama. This triangle is more like a square now.
My husband got in some trouble and I ended up meeting Mr. Webb through one of my friends. We hit it off and then I ended up leaving Mr. Forrest for Mr. Webb.
And were you using protection at the time?
No, Your Honor.
Webb was on life support when Amanda found out she was pregnant. She said it might be his, or not. What kind of phone call is that?
I was on life support. As soon as I got out the hospital, I had got a phone call saying that she was pregnant. I heard it from my aunt first, but on my way to Illinois with my dad, she had called me and told me that it was a possibility that Elena was my child.
She told you a possibility?
Yes, ma'am.
Webb starts turning into a detective. He says her money and time were missing, so something's fishy. Amanda says nope, it was just the two guys.
because she was working at the time and some of her check would be coming up missing every time she would get paid. She would get off at 10 o'clock. It would take at least 15 minutes to get home, but she would come in at 11 to 11:30.
It took about 45 minutes to get from where I was working.
So it was missing time and missing money.
Yes, Your
Where
Honor.
she was MIA.
Judge asks straight up, was there anyone else? Amanda says no, but Webb calls that a big fat lie. This is getting louder by the second.
Were you sleeping with anyone else besides Mr. Webb and your husband?
No, Your Honor, which I didn't get back to Miss Forrest until after Travis had done left, or Mr. Webb has done left.
Your Honor, I have a letter from my mom where I was on life support when she came to drop off my stuff.
Which we were already
she had
broken
moved
up by
into
then.
a motel.
Webb brings a letter from his mom like it's court homework. Says Amanda moved into a motel with her husband while Webb was almost dying. Amanda says they were broken up.
That is a statement from my mom, and he was there the very next morning in a motel with her.
Is that true?
We were already broke up. We've done caught it.
Well, after they done broke up, like 3 days before he ever went to the hospital.
No, Your Honor.
He's in the bed on life support, and now you have reconciled with your husband.
Yes, Your Honor, but I tried to see him. His mother would not let me see him.
Amanda says baby was made the week she was only with her husband. Webb says, hold up, we did it the day before I went to the hospital. So, the math ain't mathing.
My daughter was born on May 9th of 2013, and then you take it back 9 months later, that takes it to the week of August 26th through August 31st.
You were sleeping with your...
Just my husband.
The thing about it, Your Honor, is the day that before I went on to life support, we did have sex.
The baby making dates are way too close. Amanda says the baby looks like her husband. Judge Lake is like, girl, looks don't prove nothing.
Now you here to tell me you know for sure that your child is fathered by Mr. Forrest and you've got this close proximity?
She looks just like my husband. She takes after him.
But you do realize this difference in time, this is all a part of the same window of conception. You do understand that, right, Ms. Forrest?
Yes, Your Honor.
He wasn't there for the birth. Why wasn't he there for her?
Webb tried to visit, even spent his last $80 on gas. Amanda ghosted him, changed her number, and vanished. That's a real parent trap.
I have not met Elena. We have set up dates plenty of time. Illinois, whenever she told me that I could meet Elena, I spent the last $80 I had to put in gas. She had backed out, changed her phone number, and blocked me on Facebook. 3 weeks later,
And that's
tried to
changed.
contact her to meet Elena, and she would not contact me back.
Amanda says she's scared Webb will take the kid. Webb says they could have met in public, but she still said no. Judge is like, what are y'all doing?
I'm afraid that if he does get to see my daughter, that he can run off with her, and
But he's
there's
gonna
nothing
threaten
I can do to get
So
her
you
back.
admit,
Yes, Your Honor.
after you initially informed his family that where she's gonna be born.
He wasn't there. I had a difficulty of labor. I had a seizure. And
Amanda still says Webb can't see the kid until DNA says so. Even her husband's like, huh? Judge Lake is ready for the truth.
And until the DNA comes back showing that he is the father, he will not see her. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel.
So is this Miss Forrest's idea or yours?
This is mine.
That's what I thought. So I think it's time we go to the result.
Judge reads the results.
That her biological father is Mr. Webb.
Ms. Hummel shows up saying Mr. Pack is Lola's dad. He says, nope, not me. And boom, we got a love triangle mess.
Ms. Hummel, you claim you were caught in a love triangle with the defendant and his current girlfriend, which has left him denying he fathered your 8-month-old daughter, Lola. You have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is her biological father.
Hummel throws shade at Pack's new girl and says her baby might not even be his. Fuentes admits she slept with her ex during a break. The crowd goes wild like it's a game show.
If anyone needs a DNA test, he needs to get one for the other child.
What other child?
My child. She just had a child 2 months ago. She has been known to sleep around while in relationships.
Well, Ms. Fuentes, we hate to bring up the past, but since it's on record, you've appeared in this court.
I have.
Before?
Yep.
Judge says we need science, not guesses, and orders more DNA tests. Fuentes thinks looks prove things. Judge is like, nah, girl, bring the facts.
This baby looks nothing like them. He looks like him. I know that baby is his, so.
I wish we could go on looks, but we can't in this courtroom. And the truth is, regardless of what you think and what you believe, and you can bet your bottom dollar if you want to, it still doesn't mean anything, because the truth is Mr. Pack just stated in court that he is concerned.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hummel and Pack were on and off since forever. She kicked him out, and he ran to Fuentes. Turns out he was crying happy tears at the baby test.
We started dating in 2015. We've been on and off since then, and we broke up when I was about 12 weeks pregnant because he wouldn't get a job, so I kicked his out.
That's a lie. That's a lie. But okay, so you told him get out.
Yes.
And you broke up with him, which means he went over to Miss Fuentes.
Yes, 48 hours later.
Pack says he saw Hummel with another guy right after they broke up. Fuentes says same, and boom, doubt. Hummel says they're both wrong.
When he came to my house when they broke up, and this was, 3 days later? And as we're going down the street to my friend's house, we saw her walking out of a house with another man. So he has reasonable doubt to think that this baby is not his.
Your Honor, there is also another 2 guys in the beginning of the relationship before I came that lived in the vicinity where she lived at.
Pack pulls out a calendar like it's a science project. Says he wasn't around when the baby was made. Hummel says, dude, you were at my house every night.
So, Mr. Pack, you say that during January, February, and March, you were broken up with Miss Hummel. You had no sex with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which is smack dab in the middle of the time you say you had no sex with her because you were broken up. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
Hummel says Pack hasn't helped with Lola. Pack and Fuentes say yes, we did. Judge is like, enough talk, let's test.
Has Mr. Pack had any involvement with her?
Absolutely not.
Yes, he has.
Yes, I have.
Has he seen her?
About a handful of times. I can count on one hand how many times that he's seen her.
That's a lie. She's asked us to watch the baby a couple times, and we have. I mean, he wants to find out if the baby's his, that's fine, but I don't feel like shunning the baby because of his doubts, in my opinion. But I don't think she's his, so.
Judge says,
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Pack, you are the father. I told you.
This thing starts off wild and gets wilder real fast. Mr. Benning just found out his girl cheated, and now he's like, wait, are these kids even mine? Then the judge is like, let's find out.
Mr. Benning, you recently appeared in couples court and it was confirmed that the defendant cheated on you. This infidelity has caused questions regarding your 2-year-old daughter, Robin, and 6-month-old son, Jermaine Jr.'s paternity. Although you are hopeful that both are your children, you now have doubt.
Benning wanted a daughter so bad because he lost his mom when he was 14. When Robin came, he thought it was a dream come true. But uh-oh, that dream might not be real.
Well, first off, Your Honor, my mother passed away when I was 14 years old. She was my best friend. We spent every waking moment together. And after she died, it, left me hurt. I always wanted a daughter, and I promised I was going to take care of her and treat her like my mother took care of me.
Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
I've always stuck by with that.
So having a daughter has been so important.
Right when the baby was being born, some dude texted Benning, "That's my kid." He stayed and signed the birth certificate anyway, but things were already smelling real fishy.
It actually happened during labor, Your Honor. I was in the hospital sitting across, and I received a text from a guy telling me to leave the hospital because that's his baby and he needs to be there.
What?
I am in labor.
So you get the text and you know who it's from?
Yes.
What do? You can't say anything to Miss Bodine while she's in labor, can you?
I just kept going and I signed her birth certificate.
Bodine says she tested the guy who texted, and he ain't the dad. But Benning's like, girl, I know there's more dudes. Yeah, this just got messier.
Because, Your Honor, I stood up, did the woman and the mother thing I had to do, and got the other guy tested.
Oh.
And he wasn't the father.
And you submitted those results to the court?
Yes, I did.
The results read that the probability of paternity between you and this other guy is 0%.
Yes.
Turns out she tells him he's not the dad every time they argue. That hurts more than stepping on Legos. And now he doesn't trust anything.
The DNA test doesn't mean anything considering the fact that she's cheated on me with more than one person.
Oh.
There could be other guys out there, that's just one, As well as, Your Honor, anytime that something is wrong, I'm also reminded, oh, you're not her father. As soon as we start to argue, I'm the father.
You say stuff to hurt my feelings, why can't I do it?
Have I ever told you that you're not the parent of your kid?
He thinks Robin is like his mom coming back. So saying she's not his feels like losing his mom all over again. Yeah, now we're all crying.
That little girl right there is my mother come back to be with me.
And
when
she
you
looks
tell me
just
that,
like your
when you
mother.
tell me
She's
she's
her
not
kid.
mine, it feels like you're taking my mother away from me again.
Look at them. Look, they're twins.
She's beautiful.
They are.
They do look a lot alike.
Benning plays with Robin, but always has that voice in his head saying, she might not be yours. Random dudes text him saying they're her dad. That's not just drama, that's chaos.
Yeah, I had to change her diaper and look at her and play with her, and she's calling me daddy, and there's something in the back of my head saying she might not be. You know, there's a text message on my phone saying she's not yours. There's people calling me on my phone saying I'm her dad. After a certain time, you can't just ignore it anymore. It just keeps happening. It's hard to ignore.
Now he's like, wait, is the baby boy mine too? And honestly, fair question. Time for test number 2.
And to be honest with you, after all this has happened, you know, depending on the doubts with Robin, I wouldn't know about my son as well.
I think it's important that we get this family some clarity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think we need to first go to Robin's results.
Judge reads the paper and boom, he's not Robin's dad. He cries but says, I'm still staying. My dude deserves a trophy.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
Doubts about Jermaine Jr. Turns out Bodine told him the baby boy might not be his too, just to be mean. And she admits it. That's just cold.
After all that, I get a text telling me, oh, I want a paternity test for Jermaine too. Like, why would you say that?
And that was submitted to the court.
Yes, it was, sir.
I'm filing papers for a DNA test on Jermaine. That'll cause paternity doubt 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It sure does. Every day.
This case started like a TV show with extra drama. Ms. Smith says Mr. Lewis only claims her when he wants something. She wants the truth today. No more back and forth.
Ms. Smith, you say you've been waiting your entire life for the truth and opened your case to prove that Mr. Lewis is your biological father. You claim you are tired of his back and forth as it pertains to paternity and hope today's results will prove what you already know.
Mr. Lewis says he just hit it and quit it. Yep, he said that in court. He doesn't think she's his kid at all. But Judge Lake isn't letting him off that easy.
Your Honor, first of all, her mom, me and her, we got to dating. Wasn't no relationship going on. It was just a hit and quit thing. That's all it was.
But there's a whole bunch of people here in this world from a hit it and quit, because you can make a baby right quick.
Right quick, that's true. I agree with you 100%. She's not my daughter. She's not mine.
He took the baby home even though he says she's not his. He says it was to help, not because he thought she was his. Brittany doesn't think he's some big hero, though.
I had moved out of town. A friend of mine I had ran into told me that Liz was pregnant. When I came back to Cleveland, Ohio, I ran to another friend of mine. He said that Liz had a daughter, baby girl, and it's supposed to be your daughter. Got a baby. I'm a real man. I go and see my ex-wife right there. Me and her, we was together. We went up there.
Brittany says he was in and out of her life like a ghost. She waited 25 years just to get a test. And now she wants answers, not more excuses.
Him trying to be a fake father to me my whole life. One minute he was there, and the next minute he wasn't, like he was a ghost. I just don't understand how you can take somebody and treat them like they're your daughter sometimes, and then the rest of the time they're not.
Because your mother should have
And
came forward and said something.
he always
That's why.
stood me up. He made me wait 25 years to get a test.
Mr. Lewis shows a photo and says, that's her real dad. He claims it's his own great uncle. And yep, things just got super weird.
This is a photo of a man?
Yes. That's the man. Yeah, tell me about it, Your Honor. Yeah, tell
You
me.
believe this is her biological father?
That is her father. You know why I say that? Because that's for the simple fact, because I caught him and her mom having sex.
How do you know this man?
That is my great uncle.
He says he walked in on his uncle and her mom. Yikes. Brittany never heard that story before. She thinks he's just trying to blame someone else.
I pulled up in the yard, family house. The door was cracked, it was open. I walk in. The bed is sitting right there, right in front of the door. It's a small apartment. Smack it, they getting it. Next thing I know, he hear the door open. He turn around and look and see me. All I did was look and shook my head and walked out.
You walked in and she was in bed with your uncle.
Yes, ma'am.
He admits he wasn't around much, says he was busy moving and didn't know for sure. Judge Lake tells him to stop trash-talking the mom.
It was because of the doubt, and plus I was in and out of town. I stayed in Cleveland. I got family in Georgia, moved down here to Georgia. Yes, I was. I was going. But she was getting things from her mother. Her mother was pumping her head up with things, you know, and she wasn't nothing but a street hood. You know, I mean, that was it. That's her father right there, though.
His ex-wife says he told her Brittany was his. His real daughter says Brittany is still her sister. Everyone starts crying for real.
He had brought me his daughter. He told me he had a daughter. And I seen Brittany for the first time, and I said, wow, she looked just like you. Assuming that what he said, this was his daughter, so I took care of her for a long time.
Did he tell you when he brought you the baby, this is my daughter or this might be my daughter?
He said it was his daughter.
All right.
Oh. Moesha says Brittany isn't alone. Brittany says she feels totally flat inside. Then Judge Lake grabs the test results.
Because, first of all, Your Honor, he is good at doing that, as in, like, he had got a paternity test with me, and it's so hard to explain because.
See, you can't even say it.
Because I mean,
No,
it's just so sad because she, like I said, because I really grew up with Brittany.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Lewis, you are not the father.
This episode starts wild. Ramirez says Jordan's a deadbeat who won't help with their baby Mila. She wants the truth today.
Ms. Ramirez, you have dragged your ex-boyfriend to court because you are tired of him denying your 4-month-old daughter, Mila. And you're hoping today's results will make him finally step up.
Jordan claps back saying Mila's not his and calls Ramirez a liar. But he says he helps with their other 2 kids. He's here to prove it's not his baby.
I'm just here to prove that Mila's not my baby. She's a liar, like pathological liar. We have 2 other babies together, and I've taken care of Levi and Adrian. Like, I've stepped up. I've changed their diapers. Like, Adrian was here for 7 months. I took care of him. I do everything for them.
You hadn't seen him in over a year. The last time you came was
That's
last
because you don't
week.
let me. What you mean?
You're broken. You don't have the money to come down.
He says he moved away and wasn't even talking to Ramirez like that. Just chats about the kids. No way he's the dad.
I mean, the relationship was non-existent. I had moved on. So there was no, I mean, we kept in touch every now and then because I have 2 kids with her. And I just call for the kids. But besides that, I mean, I had moved on. There's not much to it besides that.
So you were already living in another state
Yeah.
and had moved on.
Yep.
Which is why you say you are not Mila's biological father.
Correct.
Ramirez says they had unprotected fun for a whole week. She says she told him she wanted another baby. That's when she says Mila happened.
The week he had came to visit, he was coming down with a friend. During that time, we were having unprotected sex. I had told him that I wanted another child with him. He's even said that, you know, if a woman says that, you know, they want another child or a child with him, that he feels the need that he has to.
What?
That's not true, bro.
Yes, he
Nah,
has.
don't pay attention to that.
Jordan shows a paycheck from another state to prove he was far away. Ramirez says maybe the check was late. Things are getting confusing fast.
I have proof right here that I was in Georgia. I got a pay stub. If I could submit this to.
So this is proof that
I was working in Georgia.
you were working in Georgia. This is a check for you, Elias Jordan, dated the 22nd of March, 2018. That's the week you say, Ms. Ramirez, he was down there with you.
She says she was with another guy, but used protection. Says it was after Jordan left. Still thinks Jordan is the dad.
A week after he left, I did sleep with someone else, but I did use protection and he did pull out. But that was literally a day and a half later when I took a pregnancy test.
Your Honor, there's no way. And on top of that, she said that she had actually slept with someone before and she thought she was pregnant by another guy when she was talking on the phone. So.
No, I didn't.
Jordan's new girlfriend shows up. Surprise! She used to babysit his kids and now she's pregnant. This court is getting wild.
I met him first and foremost, of course, and ended up being his babysitter for his second child that he has, Adrian, for a few months, actually, while he was in Georgia.
But now you're dating him and actually having his other babies, right?
New girlfriend says Ramirez told her someone else is Mila's dad. Ramirez tries to change her story. Judge is not buying it.
I knew more certainly when she herself told me. Asked us to stay with the boys and that she's gonna take Mila to go see her dad. She said, I'm going to take Mila to see her dad. He's gonna give me money for her and that he wants to see Mila.
Amari shows a photo of Ramirez, Mila, and another man. It looks like a family picture. Ramirez says he's just a maybe.
So this is a picture of Ms. Ramirez, Mila, and then the other guy?
I've never posted that.
Well, this looks like a family portrait. Does he believe he's Mila's biological father?
He knows he's a possibility. That's what I've told him. He's only a possibility.
Ramirez says she and Jordan hooked up again 2 weeks ago. Amari says no way. Ramirez swears it happened in a car and hotel.
That he slept with me when they came to visit. No. Just recently, 2 weeks ago.
Your Honor, when we went to visit,
twice,
Elias was with me every single day.
The day she actually took care of our kids in the car while I went to go pay for a hotel, we had went into the hotel to go check it out.
Boom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jordan, you the father.
I mean, it's just, if I pulled up the profile of cheater, con man, clown, and coward,
Results.
your face would be next to it. Now, you sitting up here with your wife standing next to you.
She's my 7th wife, Your Honor. Things that's been said in here, all of it's not true.
She actually sent between 5 and 7 nude pictures of herself to an ex. I went through her phone and I seen she was talking.
We weren't
with.
together.
I called this guy off my phone and he didn't want to talk to me at all. And you know what? I'm at a point in the relationship where I'm like, you know what? I really want to know what's going on. So I sent him $100 cash for him to tell me, just tell me what's going on with you and my girlfriend.
This case is a full-on disaster from the start. Judge Lake introduces Streeter v. Hartfield, where Ms. Streeter says Mr. Hartfield tricked her into having his baby while hiding the fact that he was married. He denies being the father and blames other men, but everyone can already tell this is going to be a mess.
You claim that during your relationship with the defendant, he convinced you to get pregnant with his child, but what you didn't know is that he was a married man.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Mr. Hartfield is only denying the child in order to save his marriage. You say you made a mistake by having an affair, but you know you are not father of Ms. Streeter's child. You claim that Ms. Streeter was openly sleeping with other men besides you.
Ms. Streeter says the baby was planned, and they even tracked ovulation to make it happen. Mr. Hartfield says that's a whole lot of lies and acts like he barely knows her. Someone is definitely lying, and it's not looking good for him.
We went to hospital and we got the birth control taken out together.
She's telling you guys a bunch of lies. A whole lot of lies. That's convincing. That's definitely not the truth. We went in and took a birth control out together. That's definitely not true.
We planned this child, and when we even planned the day, you know, I had an app on my phone that tracked my ovulation, and we knew what we was doing when we was having sex.
Ms. Streeter finds out he's married the old-fashioned way, Facebook stalking. She sees happy pictures of him and his wife, but he tells her those are old, like that actually means anything. She calls his wife anyway, and now the truth is out.
He had ended up telling me a relative's name, and I had went on Facebook and found the relative, then found Mrs. Hartfield page, and that's when I seen pictures of them. And I didn't even call her right away because he had told me, like, them pictures are old, she's professional, and for her image. Matter of fact, I didn't even call her, I text her and let her know, like, your husband's been treating on you for 8 months and I'm 5 months pregnant. This never happened, but he just texted me just recently.
Ms. Streeter brings receipts, text from Mr. Hartfield saying, I'm horny, come over. He tries to deny it, then admits it, then says they were playing a game. Judge Lake looks like she needs a vacation after hearing that nonsense.
He texted me earlier this week.
This is a text that says, no, and then I'm horny, and then come over. And the next line says, I'm serious, I am horny as hell.
That is true. I did send those messages.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. Hold on, let me explain to you why. Because of this game that she and I like to play, that she likes to play.
Now, Mr. Hartfield says he only texted her because she threatened to call his wife. He even claims she was blackmailing him over a stolen car. The excuses just keep getting dumber, and the judge is over it.
Your Honor, I am dealing with a 22-year-old. It's because I didn't do things for her from the extortion that she's been doing to me that she's gonna call my wife. That time she did. Next time, she said she's gonna report that I stole her car. So I'm in a situation where I either get locked up if I don't play her little childish game.
Entertain her, you pacify her with flirtation.
Mrs. Hartfield finds out about the affair through a random text from Ms. Streeter. She confronts her husband, and he hits her with, she ain't nobody. She decides right then and there that she's done with this nonsense.
The text message that I received from her.
You get a text message.
I'm in a relationship with your husband and have been for 8 months, and I'm pregnant. And that's it. Bleepity bleep is going on here. And I asked him about it, and he said, oh, she's just some little girl. She ain't nobody. I didn't like texting, so I called her. We had a conversation, to which I told her, best of luck.
Ms. Streeter says Mr. Hartfield was excited at the hospital and signed the birth certificate. But then, at the last second, he freaked out and had his name removed. The evidence is right there, but he still tries to talk his way out of it.
He was there when the baby was born. You know, that's my baby, that's my boy. I never got to see none of my kids. He needs to be in the house with both parents.
Were you telling her these things, Mr. Hartfield?
I tried to get him to sign the birth certificate. The reason why, he signed it at first, but it was time for the witness to see us, and he like, you too anxious about me signing this birth certificate. You know what, miss, take my name off, talking to the witness. Like,
Mr. Hartfield says she told another man he was the dad too. Ms. Streeter calls him a liar. And honestly, at this point, we all believe her. The judge looks 2 seconds away from throwing her gavel.
What do you mean? You say you're not the only man?
There's a guy in our local town that she's also told him that he was the father, and she promised to give him some more loving once she had the child.
For me, I feel like it's an iffy thing with him. If I don't want to be with him, he don't want to be with the baby. But it's times when I have to come over and he's the
Your Honor,
baby.
that is absolutely crazy nuts what she's saying.
Turns out Mr. Hartfield had a whole secret apartment that his wife didn't know about. Ms. Streeter found out first and dropped that bomb right on his wife. The pictures of him hanging out with the baby at this secret hideout just make it worse.
So, Ms. Hartfield, you felt like he was living with you when he was sleeping with her.
Yes.
And you didn't know about this other place.
I did not know about the other place when she told me.
I have pictures of him and my son spending time together. Spent times with my son when he claimed.
Is this at the other place?
Yeah.
And this is
that's
baby
me.
Caleb
that's right.
together.
I did that last week, actually.
Judge Lake has had enough and calls him a cheater, con man, clown, and coward. The audience claps because she's saying what we're all thinking. But now, the moment we've all been waiting for, DNA results.
I mean, it's just, if I pulled up the profile of cheater, con man, clown, and coward,
results.
Your face would be next to it. Now, you sitting up here with your wife standing next to you.
She's my 7th wife, Your Honor. Things that's been said in here, all of it's not true.
The results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hartfield, you are the father.
This whole mess is about to be a roller coaster. Miss Whalen says Mr. LeBlanc, a married man, is the dad of her son, Vincent. His wife says if the DNA test proves it, she's out.
Ms. Whalen, you admit you've been in a sexual relationship with Mr. LeBlanc, a married man, and claim he is the father of your 2-year-old son, Vincent Whalen. You are determined to prove that you are not the father of Miss Whalen's son in hopes of saving your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
This man acted like science was lying to him. Miss Whalen took multiple pregnancy tests, and he still sat there like, no way. Meanwhile, his wife had no clue a text was about to ruin her day.
Back when I was pregnant, he was staying in my house. It was one night I was telling him that I might be pregnant because I hadn't started my menstruation, so he went out and got some pregnancy tests, asked me to take them. He sat on side my bed holding his head. When I took the first one, I gave it to him and it showed that I was pregnant, and he still sat there and said, oh man, this can't be true. You can't be pregnant. And it was only because he didn't know how he was gonna go back and tell his wife that I was pregnant.
Imagine getting a text saying, I can't believe I did this again. No phone call, no explanation, just a casual message about a whole other baby. And that little word again? Oh, it's about to cause chaos.
I found out about Vincent through a text message through my husband. No phone call.
A phone call's not even good enough
I
for
need
that.
to see you face to face. None of that. It was through a text message. The text message stated, I can't believe I did this to you again. Again.
The word I'm hearing is again.
Right, again.
Turns out Vincent isn't even Mr. LeBlanc's first secret baby. He already has another child, Jaden, from a previous affair. The judge and Mrs. LeBlanc are both officially done with him.
Prior to Vincent, there was Jaden.
Who's the mother of that child?
I am. That's my 3-year-old.
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
To make the exact same mistake again?
And that's, Your Honor, why I didn't want, at that time, when she was telling me about Vincent, her being pregnant with Vincent.
The judge shuts everyone down real fast. She says both women are letting this man run back and forth like a lost puppy. And just when you think it can't get worse, he pulls out another excuse.
None of you all gonna come out looking any better than the other one. It's a mess. And it's babies coming into the world and a daddy going back and forth between houses. I'm just trying to figure, I'm like watching a tennis match. I got a married man bouncing back and forth between his mistress and his wife. You all letting them, then you all wanna come into court and downgrade one another. Come on, man.
Now he says he heard rumors that Miss Whalen was sleeping with a neighbor. A guy in a pickup truck apparently hinted at it, and somehow that's his proof. The judge is not buying any of it.
There was rumors, Your Honor, going around that Miss Whalen had slept with the neighbor. I was confronted at one time. A guy pulled up on me in a pickup truck. He was like, oh, you know who I am? I was like, nah, who are you? There was rumors going around that she had slept with this guy.
We're here to offer proof that is relevant.
Grandma gets up and immediately calls her granddaughter a sneaky little hoe. The judge tries to calm things down, but it's full-on reality TV drama at this point. Even the audience can't believe what they're hearing.
Well, if she come out, Mr. LeBlanc's not the father, then I just know my granddaughter was a sneaky little hoe that bypassed me, and I didn't catch that. But I honestly don't believe that. See, whores sleep around. Whores leave their husband and go sleep with other men and let him go sleep with other women and then want to get back. That's what whores do.
Hold on.
No whore right here.
This man really stands there and says, I love my wife. The audience is so over him, and the judge just shakes her head. Sir, your wife is done. Read the room.
I love my wife, Your Honor. I want to be with my wife. But at the same time, my wife, it's a struggle because it's hard to try to be with my wife knowing there's a possibility that these other kids are mine. And my wife trying to move forward in our marriage, it's hard for her to accept, bringing other kids into the household that's outside our marriage.
Exactly. That's why you ain't had no business doing it.
The results are in, and surprise, surprise.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. LeBlanc, you are the father.
This part is wild from the start. Miss Phillips sues Mr. Gibbies for $1,000, claiming he's not helping with their baby. She says he's 100% the dad and wants a test to prove it, but Mr. Gibbies isn't buying it. He says she's been with too many other guys and isn't his problem.
You are suing your ex-boyfriend for $1,000 in childcare expenses you claim he has ignored since denying that he is the father of your 2-month-old daughter, Jordan, whom he refuses to meet. Today, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test to prove he is the father and are looking to recover your $1,000 childcare expenses.
This breakup sounds straight out of a soap opera. Phillips thought Gibbies was the one, but after some spiritual event, he suddenly said, "I gotta work on myself." Then, in the middle of the night, he drove her to a hotel and left her there. She was confused, like she got kicked off a reality show. But wait, there's a holiday party story coming up that's even crazier.
I thought it was gonna be the best situation. I thought that actually the one for me. I think it started for me when, he went to this spiritual convention and he came home that night. He was just like, "You gotta go."
Then he goes to a spiritual convention.
Yes.
And comes home and tells you get out.
Yeah, he told me he had to go because he was working on himself, whatever. So I was like, well, it's late.
Things get messy, fast. Gibbies goes to Miami, and while he's gone, he hears Phillips was partying too hard. She denies it at first, but later admits she cheated. Gibbies is crushed but stays in the relationship. But don't blink, because up next, car drama and a shocking confession.
2 days later, I get a call from a mutual friend that says she was involved in an event.
I called you and told you.
My mutual friend told me first. They left and went to a party where I know what type of girl she is. She's a very promiscuous girl, put it like that herself, because she's seen her.
I got right in the car and I seen her. I even said hey to me. In that situation, yes, I was.
Originally, she told me that was her brother's.
This story has more twists than a curly fry. Gibbies' friend admits he hooked up with Phillips and had to hide when Gibbies showed up. She says they weren't together then, but she fires back, finding condom wrappers in his bag after Miami. And next, texts, jail time, and trust issues galore.
That's when the black car pulls up. He said, "Yeah, she told me to go ahead and let's get out because it's my boyfriend. He's crazy." I said, "Did the black car look like this one?" And he was like,
"Yeah, that was a friend of mine. We weren't even together."
And he
I did have
explained in
sex with him
detail.
now, and I felt bad about it. I told him I felt bad. I shouldn't have did it. I didn't even feel good about it at all. The bag that he took to Miami, I see condoms in the open, and they open and one missing.
This is the he said, she said Olympics, and nobody's winning. Phillips says she was loyal, but Gibbies says she lies about where she goes. Then he drops a bomb. While he was in jail for 2 months, he found flirty texts from other guys in her phone. And just when it couldn't get worse, boom, married man alert.
A lot of times, because there's been times that we actually did things together, which I understand, because if you cheat once, then you think he's gonna think you always cheating. But then that's why I kept myself around him.
There was
so he
times
wouldn't think that something was wrong, and that's what I did. I even had problems with my people. My grandmother was getting mad because I always was running over there to him.
This one had everyone shook. Phillips says Gibbies told her he was separated, but he was still legally married. Judge Lake sets him straight. You're still married till the papers say otherwise. And just when you think that's the biggest twist, the next confession takes things up a notch.
When I first met him, whatever, and we was getting into our relationship, he told me that he had been married before.
My wife at the time was living in Mississippi. We had been legally separated for almost 2 years.
A man is married until he is divorced. But at some point you found out.
Yes.
2 weeks later, but you continued. 3 years, we 4 years now.
Yes, I did, because by then I felt like I was stuck. I was young and I felt like I was stuck.
This part is sad and confusing. Phillips moved 800 miles away while pregnant, and Gibbies missed everything. Doctor visits, the birth, all of it. He felt left out and doubted the baby was his. Phillips says she just wanted to escape the drama. But now, Gibbies' sister is stepping in with her own take.
Who gets pregnant by a man that you claim is pregnant by? You go and take off 800 miles away. You go to Tampa. You down there. You done left me up here high and dry. You're not worried about me. I'm calling. I'm trying to maintain a long distance relationship. I'm not there during the pregnancy of this child. I mean the labor of this child. But even still, when she came back for her birthday, I took her out.
Gibbies' sister Raven comes in with some strong opinions. She says Phillips leaving during pregnancy looks suspicious. If it was really my brother's baby, why ghost the whole family? Plus, she says both of them cheated, so who even knows whose baby it is? And finally, it's DNA test time. The moment of truth is here.
First of all, it's just too much between the both of them, back and forth. This has been going on for years. And when my brother first told me that she was pregnant and that she did have a child, I thought it was strange that she left and went to Tampa, keeping it away from him, but you're keeping it away from the rest of his family too. Because if it is his daughter, then she's our family too.
You are her father.
That's it.
This part was wild. A man on his deathbed swearing a kid isn't his? Ms. Richardson asked her husband if he wanted to see the child, and he flat out said no. He kept denying it until his last breath, leaving everyone convinced he wasn't the dad.
Your Honor, At my husband's deathbed, I had asked him, did he want to see his child? He said, that's not my child. So he kept telling me all the way until he took his last breath that she was not his child.
And you feel like at that point, if he did feel it was a possibility it was his child, he would have told you?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you not know a man is married when his whole family does? Ms. Russell says she had no clue until his mom told her after he had already proposed. She swears she was only with him, but things were about to get way messier.
I wasn't told about a wife until I was with the mom one day, and I told her that he had asked me to marry him in a text. She said, I don't know how he gonna ask you to marry him when he already married. He told me that they were separated and that he was waiting on her to pay for a divorce because he couldn't do it.
Lisa.
But that's not what he told me.
And my daughter-in-law, and that's that.
Imagine grieving your husband and finding out he had a secret kid. Ms. Richardson got a letter from her mother-in-law spilling all the tea. She found out about the other woman, the baby, and got sent a picture of the child all at once.
I found out from my mother-in-law. She wrote me a letter and we talked over the phone, and she told me that he had a girlfriend, and she also told me that he had a baby. She sent me a picture of the child. I don't even know what to say really about this because I'm very devastated, I'm upset, I'm over my loss of my husband. I was there when he took his last breath.
She was there the whole time.
The whole thing.
She thought the doctors were playing a prank on her. Ms. Russell went to the hospital for feeling sick, and they told her she was 4 months pregnant. She literally laughed because it was the day before April Fool's, but the joke was on her.
I got up to go to the bathroom one day and I could barely move. I called my mom and asked her to take me to the hospital. My aunt ended up taking me. I get to the hospital, they're like, just so we suspected you pregnant. I start laughing. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this is the day before April Fool's Day. Why are you playing? I was 4 months and 3 days. I hadn't been with nobody since October.
And then after that time, you ended the relationship.
I left him June 28th.
If you thought he'd be happy, think again. He tried to pay someone to convince her to take an abortion pill. Instead of stepping up, he acted like the baby was a problem to get rid of. Ms. Russell refused and left him while she was 5 months pregnant.
Was he accepting the child? Was he saying?
No, he told me he didn't want the baby. He tried to pay the neighbor to get me to take some type of pill to get me to have an abortion. So I just decided I wasn't gonna do it, and when I had the money, I was gonna leave.
His own niece came in with receipts. He already told her he didn't think the baby was his. While he was away, he admitted he was seeing other women and doubted Eliza was his. And just when you thought this was the proof they needed, another twist came in.
He was down south while his wife was away, and the first thing he said was, niece, I don't think that this baby is mine. I even have somebody else who's coming to visit me while I'm here. So she was never in the picture until the fact that she had the child. Never spoke about her until the fact that he said that there was a possible chance that her daughter, Eliza, was his.
A DNA test was already done before, but it gave no real answer. Ms. Hill, Mr. Richardson's mom, took a test with the child, but it came back inconclusive. This only made them more sure the baby wasn't his.
So you've taken a DNA test prior. You did.
Yes, inconclusive. After my son had passed away, there was a letter came through the mail. It said for child support. I opened it up because my son is dead. So what is this all about? They said, well, ma'am, since he dead, we need a DNA test did on you. When the paperwork came back, it was inconclusive.
Boom.
It has been determined by this court, Ms. Hill and Mr. Richardson Sr. are related to Eliza Richardson.
Thank you,
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Right away, things get wild. Mr. Green says Mrs. Green cheated all the time, so he's not sure Keegan is even his kid. Mrs. Green says, no, you cheated first.
You claim that the defendant repeatedly cheated on you during your marriage with both men and women. You state you have every reason to doubt that you are 1-year-old Keegan's biological father because of Mrs. Green's sexual track record. And you've petitioned the court for a paternity test. Mrs. Green, you say Mr. Green wasn't ready to be married and that he was the promiscuous one.
Mr. Green says she'd disappear for hours with weird excuses. One time, she said she was going to Burger King, but came back 3 hours later. Bro, what were you doing? Grilling the burgers yourself?
I mean, she used to leave me in the house, like, for numerous amounts of time. Like, she'd tell me she'd going to the store for, like, an hour. She'd be gone for, like, 2 or 3 hours. Like, she just been to her girlfriend's house. To her girlfriend's house can mean really her boyfriend's house, or both. I don't think Burger King at 10 o'clock at night is crowded until, like, 1 in the morning. So this is what made me, like, not want to be with her. And then when I did leave, the first time I did leave, I was going to see my other child.
Mr. Green found a random condom wrapper on the floor and freaked out. Mrs. Green Green says he was in Atlanta probably making another baby. Now they're just yelling, "You cheated! No, you cheated!"
I found the condom wrapper on the floor. Like one time I came home out of town or whatever, I came, it was
Out
condom
of
wrapper on
town.
the
How
floor.
long were you out of town for? Where were you at when you were out of town?
I was in Atlanta.
Right, in Atlanta, right.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta.
With who?
With my son moms. But we wasn't together.
So what are you talking about then?
But still, what, you found the condom wrapper on the floor, you smutty.
Mrs. Green said she got pregnant right after Mr. Green got back from Atlanta. He's like, how do I know that baby's mine? Their timelines don't match, and the math is not mathing.
He comes back and then you're pregnant. You tell him you're pregnant.
He was back for like a month before I found out I was pregnant. I had not been with anyone during the time that this child was conceived besides
Oh, really?
him.
Somebody wasn't calling your phone?
So you get pregnant through the phone. Anyway, like I said, I hadn't been with anyone during the time that this child was conceived besides him.
Mr. Green's friend says people know Mrs. Green's name for the wrong reasons. Judge Lake is like, gossip isn't proof, dude. Basically, his testimony was just one big rumor sandwich.
Basically, she turned up. They both turned up.
I believe I want you to explain to me in respectful language, if possible, what turned up means. Enlighten me.
No holds barred. Everything is a go, basically.
Sexually.
Everything is a go, yes.
Understood. Multiple partners.
Vegas in the bedroom.
Mrs. Green's friend says Mr. Green left right after the wedding. She says both of them need to stop fighting and be parents. Finally, someone with some sense.
Me and Whitney have been friends for a very long time. When, not too long after they got married, probably about 2, 3, maybe 4 days after they got married, she called me crying and she was like, my husband left. This is 4 days after you get married. When you get married so you don't have to chase people. You've been chasing and running from the beginning.
Mrs. Green cries and says she loved him, but never felt respected. She's just tired of all the drama. Before she can move on, she needs the truth about Keegan.
I've been through so much with him that isn't relevant to this case, even relevant to what's going on right now. When I married this man, he had a child on the way. But I loved him and I wanted to be with him. I had to deal with him going back and forth. And he already had a child too. Like I said, I loved him, so I married him regardless. But I never feel like I was truly ever respected as his wife from day one.
Judge Lake reads the results.
As it relates to 1-year-old Keegan Green, Mr. Green, you are the father.
Now turn up to that. Turn up now.
Whoa, this one starts off super crazy. Mr. Smith left town because he thought the baby wasn't his. Melody's yelling, he's denying, and now they're in court like it's an episode of a soap opera.
Ms. Melody, you and the defendant are separated and living in different states because he says he's not the father of your 9-month-old baby, Savannah. Mr. Smith, you say the plaintiff's continuous lies and infidelities are proof that you are not the father of her daughter and you refuse to move back in.
Mr. Smith said the baby was way too dark to be his, like he thinks babies come out with ID photos. Melody said it was bruising from being born early. He still packed his stuff and said, I'm out.
No. I moved hundreds of miles away because when my baby was born, she came out 5 shades too dark compared to me. I mean, we're both very...
She was 2 months early.
No, we're both very white.
2 months early. I wasn't fully dilated when she came out. She was bruised. He hasn't even seen our kids in a month. He's been gone for months.
No, you
he doesn't call. He doesn't help. I'm doing it all by myself.
This man found Craigslist messages and went full detective mode. He even called the guy like, you messing with my girl? Melody says, nah, she was just selling cars.
Okay, Your Honor, I was going through her phone like normal. I believe normal married couples do. They check up on each other's stuff. I mean, I do. But only because there was a history of infidelity.
We're doing a little investigation, going through her phone.
Looking, and I see that she's talking to some guy. So what do? I pick up my cell phone, I call him, and I say, hey, who is this? That's when he tells me, oh, I had an ad on Craigslist looking for a girlfriend.
Melody admits she planned drinks with the Craigslist dude, but says it didn't happen. The judge side-eyed her hard. Mr. Smith looked like he just won a game show.
We were supposed to go out for drinks. We were supposed to meet up. We never actually did.
That's why we're here. You don't come all the way to paternity court to come up in here and tell a lie, because at the end of the day, the DNA is going to show whether you're lying or not. It's an opportunity to just get it out. Tell it like it is.
Mr. Smith showed baby pics like it was a school project. He said the baby didn't look like him and brought up Melody's past boyfriends. Judge Lake was trying hard not to roll her eyes.
Well, she has a history of dating African-American men, Hispanic men, and that's really why when my baby was born, I thought that she's not mine. I mean, you can see here in the pictures, Your Honor, that
You feel like the coloring in her forehead indicates that she's African American, or do you feel like her skin tone you feel like is a dark tone?
Her overall skin tone.
Her
is
skin
very
tone.
dark.
This guy paid $100 to Melody's ex for old nudes, and the ex just sent the same ones Melody already sent. He paid for a rerun.
She actually sent between 5 and 7 nude pictures of herself to an ex. I went through her phone and I seen she was talking
We weren't
to him.
together.
I called this guy off my phone and he didn't want to talk to me at all. And you know what, I'm at a point in the relationship where I'm like, you know what, I really want to know what's going on. So I sent him $100 cash for him to tell me, just tell me what's going on with you and my girlfriend.
Mr. Smith says Melody's ex came to town right when the baby was made. He thinks that proves it all. Melody's like, I didn't even see him.
And I just recently found out that right around the time that she sent those pictures to him was when he actually came into town, right around the time she got pregnant.
I haven't seen him in over 2 years.
Are there any other instances that make you doubt?
No, he's just very jealous. He comes up with stuff. I applied for jobs on Craigslist. I went and applied for a job for cleaning.
Smith skipped the baby's birth because he had doubts. Melody was heartbroken, raising babies while he vanished. The court looked ready to explode.
Because there's so much infidelity on her part that, I mean, I'm still young. I've been courting her and the kids for years now.
No.
And for her to just disrespect me like that, go off cheating
I've never
everybody
cheated
that
on
she
him.
wants to.
He's the only one who's ever cheated in our relationship. I've been faithful. Yeah, I talked to somebody. Now we're not together. Now I'm raising my kids on my own. We're married. We're supposed to be together.
Mr. Smith, you are Savannah's father.
No.